Okay, let's talk a minute or two about types of debt. There's secured debt. Those are people that you pledge collateral to. Like when you buy a car, you grant them a lien, a consensual lien. When you buy a house, you grant a deed of trust or some other form of mortgage. When you buy a piece of jewelry and finance it through the jewelry store, they're a secured creditor. And what security means is they have a non-possessory interest in that property. Well, when we own something, it's called an interest. We have a property right or an interest in that property. A non-possessory interest means they don't get to keep the ring at the jewelry store or the bracelet. They don't get to keep the car at the dealership. That would be ridiculous. If you had to make 60 months worth of payments on a car before you drove it home, it would already be rusted and out of date. So they take a non-purchase money security interest. It's called a lien, but it allows them to execute or come and take that property, repossess that property if you don't make the payments according to the terms of the promissory note. Secured creditors. There are secured creditors that are a consensual lien, meaning you signed off and granted them a lien in it. There are judgment lien holders. If someone gets a money judgment against you, they can go and record that in the county recorder's office, and they have a judgment lien against your property. And there's also statutory liens. When you don't pay your federal or state taxes, there's usually a state statute, or I know there's a federal statute. In Arizona, there's a state statute. And in most states, I expect there are, that if you don't pay the taxes, that they have a statutory lien against your property, which makes a secured creditor out of them. In addition to having a consensual lien, there are also non-consensual liens, like I mentioned, the statutory lien and the judgment lien. What I meant to say was, in addition to secured creditors, there are unsecured creditors, people you didn't pledge collateral to. Now, there are unsecured creditors that have a priority in bankruptcy. There's a certain list under Code Section 507 of who would get paid first, and certain priority obligations can't be discharged in bankruptcy. So there's a different class between general unsecured and priority unsecured. And there's a class of unsecureds that can be discharged in bankruptcy and a class that are non-dischargeable in bankruptcy. Let's talk about secured creditors just for a moment or two. Secured creditors, if you pledge collateral to them and you don't make the payments, they can repossess the collateral. They can come and take the car. If you file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, we can get the car back, or we can keep the car from being taken. If you have a home that you pledged collateral on, the home loan, and you pledged the home as collateral, either through a deed of trust or a mortgage, then if you get behind on that home, they can foreclose on the home, but a Chapter 13 bankruptcy will allow you to cure the mortgage arrears. So there's a different treatment for secured creditors in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. In a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you either have to surrender back to the secured creditor, the consensual lien holder, the home, the car, the jewelry, the appliance, the furniture, whatever it is that you pledged as collateral, or you have to pay them the fair market value for it, or you can reaffirm on the debt and put yourself back on the hook for the obligation. I'll reserve those treatments for a future guide.